1970, Bruce Lee's private training session. He's teaching his students a new concept. Most people fear the wrong things, he says. The students look confused. Bruce explains, I don't fear a kick coming at me. Will the kick hurt? Maybe, but pain is temporary. It won't kill me. I've accepted pain. I don't fear pain. Then what do you fear? A student asks. I fear the man who accepts the kick, Bruce says. I throw a kick, my opponent blocks it. That's normal. But some people can't block. They still move forward. They take the kick but keep coming. Those people scare me because it means they don't fear pain. And a man who doesn't fear pain can do anything. This teaching reveals Bruce Lee's deepest philosophy about fear. Most people fear the wrong things. They fear pain, embarrassment, failure. But these aren't the real dangers. The real danger is the person who has moved beyond these fears. Bruce divided fear into two categories, intelligent fear and foolish fear. Intelligent fear protects you. You feel fear before jumping off a building because it's genuinely dangerous. This fear saves your life. But foolish fear paralyzes you. You feel fear before public speaking, before meeting someone new, before trying something different. This fear isn't protecting you from real danger. It's protecting your ego from imagined danger. In a 1971 interview, the journalist asked, Do you ever feel afraid before a fight? Bruce smiled. Of course I feel fear. Fear's natural. Fear's biological. When the body senses danger, it releases cortisol, heart rate increases, muscles tense. This is automatic. The question isn't whether you feel fear. The question is what you do with fear. Most self-help teachings say, overcome your fear or be fearless. Bruce's teaching is different. Accept your fear. There's a massive difference. Overcoming suggests fear is an enemy to defeat. Accepting recognizes fear is information to process. Bruce demonstrated this practically in 1958, Hong Kong. He was 18, involved with a street gang. A rival gang leader challenged him. Tomorrow under the bridge, alone. If you don't show, everyone will know. That night, Bruce couldn't sleep. He was afraid. This was his first serious street fight. No rules, no referee, no safety. Morning came. His friend said, Don't go, it could be a trap. Bruce replied, I must go, otherwise fear will always be with me. He arrived. The rival was there, much bigger. Bruce was 60 kilos. The rival was 80 kilos, an experienced fighter. The fight started. Fear made Bruce's body stiff. Movements were slow. The rival threw powerful punches. Bruce could block but couldn't counter effectively. Then a moment happened. The rival threw a big right punch. Bruce realized, fear won't kill me. The punch will kill me. Fear's just a feeling. He decided, let fear be there. But movement continues. Bruce's body changed. He was still afraid, but fear wasn't controlling him. Fear was in the background. Movement was in the foreground. Wing Chun technique came back. Fast chain punches. The rival lost balance and fell. Bruce won. Walking home, Bruce noticed, fear never left. He was afraid from start to finish, but he won because he moved with fear. He didn't wait for fear to end. That day, he learned, without fear, there's no courage. But if fear exists and you still move, that's courage. This lesson shaped his life. When he went to Hollywood, he was afraid. When he filmed Enter the Dragon, he was afraid. But every time he moved with fear. Bruce explained to students, imagine two fighters. One is very talented, fast, strong, perfect technique, but he fears pain. If he takes a punch, he withdraws. The second fighter is less talented, slower, weaker, but he doesn't care about pain. Even taking every punch, he keeps advancing. Who wins? The second one, students said. Yes, because technique is worthless against fearlessness, but the absence of fear, that beats everything. How does fear disappear? A student asked. Bruce laughed. It doesn't disappear. It gets accepted. I fear pain, normal human fear, but I've accepted pain. Pain will come, okay? Let it come. When I accept it, fear loses its power. Fear is still there but doesn't paralyze anymore. Dan Inosanto, Bruce's student, described this. Sparring with Bruce, I noticed something. I was calculating risk every time. Will this work? What if I get counter-punched? But Bruce never calculated. I'd attack, he'd accept, and counter. Pain didn't matter. Only result mattered. That's why he always won. Modern psychology calls this risk tolerance, but Bruce explained differently. Not pain tolerance, pain acceptance. I don't tolerate pain. I accept pain. The difference matters. Tolerating means I'm enduring it. Accepting means I don't care. This isn't just for fighting. Most people fear failure, shame, rejection. These fears paralyze them. Bruce's answer, you will fail, guaranteed. You will feel shame. You will be rejected. The question, can you accept this? Because if you accept it, fear no longer has power. The distinction is crucial. Tolerance implies resistance. You're holding back, fighting against it. This requires constant energy. Acceptance implies release. You're not fighting it. You're allowing it to exist while continuing forward. Bruce demonstrated this in Hollywood. When he arrived in 1959, he faced constant rejection. Casting directors said, "Your accent is too strong. American audiences won't accept an Asian lead." Each rejection was painful, but Bruce accepted each one. He didn't tolerate them by gritting teeth. He accepted by acknowledging, yes, Hollywood is racist, yes, this is painful, and yes, I will continue anyway. This acceptance gave strategic clarity. If he'd been merely tolerating pain, he'd be consumed by resentment. Because he accepted pain, he could think clearly. Hollywood won't cast me? I'll go to Hong Kong and make my own films. That's what happened. The Big Boss and Fist of Fury broke box office records. Warner Brothers came to him. Enter the Dragon was born. Bruce didn't overcome Hollywood's racism. He accepted it and moved around it. Bruce distinguished fears clearly. Intelligent fear, actual physical danger. Stupid fear, ego danger. Starting a business involves intelligent fear, you could lose money, and stupid fear, people might judge you. Bruce would say, accept intelligent fear, plan accordingly, ignore stupid fear completely. His wife Linda described this. When Bruce opened his Seattle school, he was afraid. Almost no money, baby on the way. But he distinguished, will I lose money? Maybe, that's intelligent fear. I'll start small. Will people think I'm crazy? That's stupid fear. I don't care. The school succeeded. Bruce's most profound statement, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. This connects to his fear philosophy. The man who practiced 10,000 kicks once is avoiding fear of limitation. The man who practiced one kick 10,000 times has accepted fear of specialization. Through acceptance, he achieved mastery. This is the man Bruce fears, not the kick, the mentality that produced it. Modern culture misunderstands this. They think Bruce advocates narrow specialization. He's actually advocating for accepting the fear of commitment. Most people avoid committing to one path because they fear missing out. This fear keeps them sampling forever, mastering nothing. Bruce says, accept the fear of limitation. Commit. Go deep. That's where power lives. Now the darkest aspect. May 1973, Bruce finished Enter the Dragon. Peak success, 32 years old, best condition, worldwide fame. But one fear lived inside. Linda described in 2020, Bruce constantly said, I don't have time. I asked why the hurry. He said, my father died at 57. I might have the same heart problem. Maybe I won't live to 40. That's why I must use every day. 2 months later, July 1973, Bruce died, 32 years old, cerebral edema. His fear came true. Linda said later, Bruce's greatest fear was dying early. This fear came true. But this fear pushed him to do what he did in 32 years. Without fear, maybe he'd live to 60, but nobody would know his name. Because of fear, in 32 years, he became a legend. The paradox: Bruce didn't overcome fear. Fear was always there. But fear didn't paralyze him, it motivated him. The fear of limited time pushed him harder, faster. Most self-help says, conquer fear, be fearless. Bruce's life teaches differently. Fear doesn't disappear. You live with fear. Sometimes fear kills you. But while fear lets you live, you truly live. Bruce's famous quote, "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering." He lived 32 years. But 50 years later, he's still remembered. Because he lived with fear, not as if it didn't exist, but more intensely because it existed. In 2024, most people don't live because of fear. What if I fail? What if I'm wrong? What if I waste time? Bruce's answer: you already have little time. Fear is real. Death is certain. The question: what will you do with these truths? Will you be paralyzed or will you move? Bruce applied his fear philosophy everywhere. In training, he told students, you fear getting hit. Good. That fear makes you defend properly. But don't let that fear stop you from attacking. Accept the fear, then move through it. In teaching, he challenged traditional masters who said certain techniques were too dangerous to teach. Bruce replied, the danger isn't in the technique. The danger is in the student who doesn't respect it. Teach everything. Let fear create respect, not ignorance. In relationships, Bruce told Linda during their early dating, I'm afraid of marriage, afraid of commitment, afraid I won't be a good husband. Linda asked, so what will you do? Bruce answered, marry you anyway. Because the alternative, living without you to avoid fear, that's worse than living with fear. They married in 1964. In business decisions, Bruce constantly took financial risks, opening schools with no guaranteed income, quitting stable teaching jobs to pursue acting, turning down safe roles to wait for the right one. Each decision involved intelligent fear, real financial consequences, and stupid fear. What if people think I failed? Bruce accepted intelligent fear, made backup plans, but ignored stupid fear entirely. The final lesson from Bruce's fear philosophy is this: fear is not your enemy. Fear is your teacher. Intelligent fear teaches you about real danger. Stupid fear teaches you about your ego. Both have value if you listen. Intelligent fear says, be careful here. Stupid fear says, your ego is attached to this outcome. Bruce's legacy isn't fearlessness, it's fear acceptance. He felt fear constantly, before fights, before performances, before major decisions. But he moved with fear, not against it. He accepted fear, distinguished types of fear, and let intelligent fear guide him while ignoring stupid fear. 50 years after his death, this teaching matters more than ever. Modern society creates more stupid fears than ever. Fear of judgment on social media, fear of failure in a connected world where everyone sees, fear of irrelevance in an age of constant comparison. Bruce would say, these are stupid fears. Accept them, recognize they're ego-based, then ignore them completely and move forward. Bruce's greatest fear came true. He died at 32. But because he lived with fear rather than being paralyzed by it, those 32 years created an eternal legacy. The ultimate lesson: not fearlessness, not overcoming fear, but accepting fear, distinguishing intelligent from stupid fear, and moving forward regardless. Because the man who accepts the kick, accepts pain, failure, mortality, cannot be stopped. That man Bruce feared. That man Bruce became.